guys
went
that
live.
grind and fight until the end, they're getting the contract. And 15 so far, and 15 guys are going to have a chance to go in the UFC in Houston.
Yeah, listen, those guys that got contracts tonight, we saw some phenomenal talent on display. Like Jailton Almeida, he could go in there and be a top 10 guy right now, I think. And Della, Maddalena, congratulations, that was absolutely sensational. Mo Miller, he's obviously going to be disappointed, as is Brandon Lewis, but I completely agree with what Dana said. They are UFC caliber, they just need a little bit more experience. They're still young in their career, so don't be disheartened. If you see this, stay with it, stay the course, keep training, and we'll see you in the UFC one day.
And how many times have we seen guys like Mo come back on the show, show some improvement, and then get that contract? All right, Jasmine, Laura, take it away. You were our first contract winner we get to hear from.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, Jasmine, I mean, I can feel the joy emanating from you right now. What's it feel like to call yourself a UFC fighter?
It's crazy. Like, I really don't even know what to say. I just think all the hard work
How are you guys?
Another 5 contracts, right? I mean, it seems to be like routine now. What's the feel after a night like tonight where you got another 5?
Not everybody. You know, it sucks when Stipe calls and says, you should sign this kid. I believe in him. And I got to say, I don't think he's ready. So, yeah, I think everybody who got a contract tonight deserved it. Jasmine fought her ass off. She literally just told me over there, I'm here for the next 2 weeks. If you need me for the next show, I'll turn around and fight. She's like, this shit will clear up in 2 days. So I definitely made the right decision on that one. Jack, I think Jack is special. I think this guy can really do something here. I liked everything that I saw. And like I said, he didn't show a little bit. He showed a lot of everything. I mean, you got to see this guy everywhere. And obviously, Lusa is a tough, durable guy who kept coming. And Jack had an answer for everything. Lukasz, you could say, you know, but it's not like we have an abundance of heavyweights around here. So when you look at what the criteria should be to get in here, that kid did everything he was supposed to do. Kept coming forward, was exhausted, kept trying to finish, whether it was punching or on the ground, secured the choke. Whether you think the kid, you know, the fight shouldn't have been stopped because the kid didn't tap. He was going to tap or go to sleep. There's no way he was getting out of that choke. Albert, how do you not sign that guy, right? You do. Then you get to Mo and Brandon. Again, 2 undefeated, talented kids that I think we're going to see again. We'll see them both soon, just not tonight. And then how do you not take Almeida? I mean, that was an incredible performance that guy put on against an undefeated fighter.
Yeah. You know, with Albert, like you said, a guy that you can't, I mean, you had to sign that guy, right? He was already calling out top middleweights. I mean, would you be willing to?
Yes.
If he's, hey, I'll fight those top guys?
That's what I want to see. Well, if you look at him and look at his record, he is, oh yeah, this is going to go 1 page at a time. Of course it is. You know, the guy's 14-2 now. Guy's 14-2, just fought a guy 9-0, undefeated, and put on a clinic. Was not afraid to wrestle with him, took him right down. You know, this guy's a savage on the ground. So who couldn't you match him up with right now in the UFC? I actually am excited to see how he looks against some of our guys.
Yeah.
And when you think about that weight class, it's nice to have another new exciting guy in that division.
I did want to ask you about Miller because, like you said, I mean, a little bit raw, but, you know, early in his career, but he did show some talent. So is he, like, what ultimately lets you say, yeah, he's undefeated, he's young, but we're just going to let him go because then he might end up somewhere else, right?
No, he will. He will end up somewhere else. And I think if you're another promoter, Bellator, PFL, whatever, and you're not watching this show, you're out of your mind. This is the show you should be watching. And the guys that we don't necessarily take, like this kid, is somebody that you should seriously look at taking.
I think it's the first time I've heard negative feedback of this series and the whole thing. For a couple weeks, some fans have been saying it's too many contracts. Now I'm not as excited by it because the stakes don't seem as high. Do you see any of that at all?
No, I don't read any of that stupid shit. I literally don't read any of that. Yeah, too many contracts. The stakes aren't as high. I mean, I just went through the list with you guys again. Tell me who I shouldn't have given a contract to. Yeah. Anybody?
The only one is Lukasz, but he's a heavyweight and you need heavyweights.
Yeah. I mean, Lukasz is, and even if, let's say we had heavyweights, okay? Let's say we had tons of heavyweights. There's so many heavyweights, we have like the 55-pound division, right? You got this whole stacked division and most people weigh that weight. What did that kid not do tonight? You know, Dylan Potter has the fucking chin from hell. And this kid showed up to win tonight. This kid is durable, tough, and wanted to win. Kept coming forward. Lukasz hit him with bombs that he took. He never stopped trying to finish the fight, and he did finish the fight. It's unfortunate that the ref called it before the tap, but you could see how on the inside the ref could make that mistake too. And that kid wasn't getting out of that choke. So what did Lukasz do to? So let's say that's the case. I gave out one more contract that I should have, but it's not the case. It's not true. This kid deserves to be here, and he'll get his shot.
Awesome. Just a couple of quick ones for me. We had a new ring announcer tonight, and Justin Bernard. Just curious your thoughts on is he around to stay and what you thought of
Yeah, he
the
did
guy
a
in
good
there?
job tonight. So I wanted to bring him in because Little Miss wants to do everything. Can't do everything. So, and if you had to look at Laura and all the things that she's strong at, that's probably the least. And I don't think it's her favorite thing to do. So the other great thing about the Contender is we can try lots of different talent in here. And, so we started looking at guys. We looked him up yesterday and had him come in and read some lines today. And we gave him a shot.
Fantastic.
He did good.
Last thing, a couple of real international flavor to the card tonight, right? I mean, a lot of international talent being brought in. Obviously, we know COVID. I'm just curious, do you have any update on when the UFC might be able to start hosting international cards again, outside of Abu Dhabi, of course?
No, I really don't know. And it's not like everything's starting to get more normal. It's all getting weirder by the day. So I don't know. We'll just see how this all plays. I'm not, like I told you guys, probably haven't talked about this in a month or so, but whatever. I don't care. We got this place here. We got Abu Dhabi. We got Texas. We got Florida,
Arizona.
Yep, Arizona. I'm cool with that, Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great to do, some of these fights in some of these other destinations in the world and in the United States, but that's just not a reality right now. And it's not anything that New York's a stretch. You know what I mean? We're still working on New York.
Is there any concern that one might not happen?
No. Every time I start to think that maybe not, everything gets worked out.
Nice.
I see Madison Square Garden happening and going through with it.
Last thing for me, I did want to ask if you'd had a chance to speak with either Conor McGregor or Machine Gun Kelly after their incident at the MTV Video Music Awards.
I think that it was just, I talked to both, actually. They're all good now. Misunderstanding or whatever it was, but I saw, too, that, I think TMZ grabbed Conor today, and Conor told him there's no problem with them.
Does it concern you at all with Conor? I mean, obviously he's still a long way away from being able to fight anyway, but, throwing drinks on a red carpet at a rapper.
Guys, this is the fight business. I got 700 fucking lunatics under contract here. What do you guys think? I mean, these are the things that happen sometimes. We're in a crazy. This isn't Microsoft, okay? We're in a crazy fucking business here. We're in a crazy business, and I think we all know Conor's personality, and we got some guys that are like that. These guys are fighters, and this is the fight business, and crazy shit happens in the fight business. And there's all the shit that you guys know about because it happens in public. Never mind the shit that you don't know about that happens every day.
I wanted to ask you about Jack. He lost his first 2 fights and then came back on this winning streak. Do you like seeing that?
I love that.
Shows a guy has resilience and can come back.
Love it. Let me tell you what. When you lose your first 2 fights in a row and then you're like, I should probably keep doing this and I'm going to be great someday, that's a special kind of person that does that.
His fight was amazing. I don't know if you guys do this, but maybe is there unofficially some bonuses that can get out to those sort of fights?
No, it's never happened. But believe me, the last few weeks I've been sitting here going, Jesus Christ, that would have been a $50,000 winner. That would have been a $50,000 winner. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough with the Contender Series because these guys are fighting for the opportunity to get in. But who knows? Maybe I will do that this season or next. But yeah, there's some fights that are just every Tuesday when guys, and I told you guys, I ran over to you guys, the matchmaking on this show is fucking unbelievable. I mean, the matchmaking on this show is incredible. Sean and Mick do an amazing job, and these guys are dealing with COVID and all these other things that go on, injuries that happen for these fights. And when we come in here every Tuesday, and like I say, members of the media that cover the sport, could you ask to go to a better fucking fight on every Tuesday? It's incredible. It's just, I know me and the way that I'm built. If I was still a fan sitting at home, I wouldn't miss one fucking minute of this shit. It's so good.
So you actually took my next question. I was going to ask, is the secret to good promotion good matchmaking?
Yes.
Is that the secret behind everything and perhaps something that your competitors could learn from?
It's the secret to everything. It's the key ingredient to this business. I mean, it's all about the matchmaking. And it's about the best fighting the best. And not only do we do that in the UFC, that's what we do. You know, you take the best kids available in these weight classes and match them against each other to find out who belongs here or gets a shot here anyway. And it's unbelievable.
With Mo Miller, who didn't get a contract tonight, do you think a part of that is because he was such a heavy favorite and that kind of went against him?
No, not at all. I think that when you look at both of those kids, they're both 5-0 coming into tonight. Take the odds out of it. You could tell that they're both talented and they both, you know, are going to be around and we're going to see them again. You just know that they're not ready. They're not ready now. You take Miller's performance tonight. You put him in against somebody with decent takedown defense, unbelievable leg kick, stand up. You know, he's in for a rough night. You know, and tonight both of those kids learned a lot from each other and know what they need to go home and work on. But you can tell that the kid's an absolute stud athlete, and you know, and somebody will pick him up, and you know he's undefeated. He's undefeated. He's 6-0, and he just got a ton of promotion being on this show. So he'll end up somewhere, and then eventually he will end up here.
Last thing from me, and I know how much you love these questions, but it's a commission question. Last weekend, Triller had an event, and they advertised those fights as professional fights. And then the day after it comes out, Dan Rafael reports that actually they were exhibition fights. Do you think a commission has a responsibility to the public to say, actually, these guys are advertising something that you're not paying for to get?
Guys, let me put it to you this way. Anybody who's fucking dumb enough to willing to pay and watch these fucking fights, Anderson Silva boxed Tito Ortiz. Boxed Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz has no business fucking boxing anybody. Okay? And Tito's 40 fucking something years old. Evander Holyfield's almost 60 years old and he's fucking fighting. It's just I just think, you know what I think of this shit. It's silly. All of it's silly. There's always going to be a certain amount of people that are dumb enough to buy these fights and pay for them. And I'm not, and let me say this too. Anderson Silva, we honestly need to start talking again about this guy as the GOAT. Okay? Not Tito, because he knocked Tito out in 40 fucking seconds, but you know what? He did to Tito exactly what should be done to Tito. Knocking Tito out in 40 seconds is what should have happened in that fight. Anderson Silva beat Chavez Jr. At 40 what? 44, 45 now? What is it?
46.
46? 40 fucking 6 years old. He now left this sport, which he was, you know, considered one of the greatest of all time, possibly even the greatest of all time, goes out, beats Chavez Jr. in a boxing match, and knocks Tito out in 40 seconds. And you know what I think of Tito personally, but, you know, and Tito can't box. Tito's a horrible boxer. That's why I said I would box him. You ever see me saying I'll fight any other fucking guy in the UFC? No, and I never will and never would. 10 years ago I wouldn't, but I would Tito all day long. But the other thing about Tito is when Tito fought here, Tito had a good chin. Tito took big shots from a lot of guys who hit hard. Anderson Silva knocked him out in 40 seconds. Anderson Silva might actually be the GOAT of combat sports. I mean, to still compete, it'll be interesting to see what he does next. I fucking guarantee you this. You ain't going to see Jake Paul calling Anderson Silva out. That I fucking promise you. He's his size, and he's actually good. He's old, which is what Jake Paul likes to fight old guys, but he likes to fight old guys that are too small, and you know, and that are absolutely positively washed up. So yeah, I know I didn't answer your question, but that's That's my rant for all that fucking silly shit today.
We'll take it. Thank you.
All right.
Just jumping on that, I guess since you ended with the Jake Paul, I guess I'll start with that, even though I wasn't going to bring it up. George Masvidal was kind of jawing back and forth with him.
Masvidal's under contract with me.
Well, you said he is under contract.
Yeah.
Right, that's the thing, and you got Jake over here just saying, well, just get Dana, let you out. Let Dana, let you fight him. Is at some point, do you want to bring a ringer in to take the kid out?
Hey, Jake, Anderson's out. Anderson Silva's out. Jake?
I love it. Speaking of the matchmakers and some of the stuff that the great stuff that they've been able to put together, do they go into the season? Do you guys get together and say, guys, this is kind of what we're looking for this season to try to bring in? Or do you just say, guys, bring me fun, just bring me enjoyment? Or do you guys sort of look at the divisions and say, if we can, these are the areas we maybe need to just thicken up a little bit?
No, I mean, coming out of COVID and what's happened and the amount of shows that haven't happened in the last 2 years, we're just looking for whatever talent is available right now that is the best talent available in whatever weight class it is. Yes, it would be more dialed in if the world was a normal place right now, but it's not.
And then tonight we saw, I think for the first time, women this season. Is that something, I think that's probably another area where a lot of people are saying, oh, they could probably, definitely try to find some new talent to help fatten up some of the divisions. Is that something that we're going to see more as the season goes on as well?
Did you say women?
Yeah, women fights.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're always looking for female talent. Yes. The answer to that is yes.
Okay. And then one of the last ones for me, just jumping in, I know you probably talked about it recently. 266, we get to see the return of Nick Diaz. Is this a fight that you're looking forward to seeing him back fighting again and all the fun that he brings in a fight week?
Yeah, and obviously him and Robbie Lawler is the fun fight to make to come back. So yeah, I think a lot of people are excited about that.
Awesome. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Actually, I will say this.
Yeah. Sir?
They should, yeah. The way that Anderson's fighting is so fucking incredible.
It's the retirement tour he never got here. That's what it is. Chavez Jr. Chavez is a shot piece. For him to pull out the hits and stuff, it's so fucking sweaty.
That was crazy, man.
When it first happened, he was out, and then when he saw the ringside, he heard it, fucking locked it.
Jazz, good to see you again. The emotions right now, I imagine it's still probably settling in a little bit, but the UFC contract is secured. So what's the feeling right now?
It's crazy. I can't believe it. Like I'm got a bit of a loss for words right now. I'm just so happy. I can't believe it. Honestly, I put in so much work. It's like the hard days, those hard grinding days, every day, day in day out, and kind of to see it all come together and like be here. It's just it feels so good.
It's awesome. And obviously, it wasn't an easy fight, right? Especially the second round. She had a lot of effective strikes in the second round. So what was your feeling as the fight was kind of playing out? Did it surprise you a little bit?
Yeah, I knew she was going to be tough. And in the first, I tried to finish her so hard. And, sometimes I do that. I try so hard for the finish, get a little bit tired. But I'm not unhappy about that. I would rather try for the finish than be one of those that's saving the energy. I think that's crazy. But but yeah, I knew she was gonna keep coming forward. It's like a very good matchup. I would way rather a fight like that both of us are coming forward than someone trying to run from me. Like, I don't think that's really fighting. This is fighting. What we did tonight, that's fighting, you know? And so I'm just like, I'm so happy that I had an opponent that we brought the best out of each other.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's ever had to wait longer, right? Because this was a 6-fight night, so you had to sit around and wait the whole time. So did you feel like, oh, hey, I know we've got this, I'm just waiting for my time, or are there nerves the whole time?
No, there's nerves the whole time. Of course, I was really hoping that I got it because after my fight, they gave me a little bit of props. So I'm like, okay, maybe I have it, maybe I have it. And I'm like watching the other fights and like, oh, these are good fights too. I don't know how many contracts he's giving out. And then when we were sitting in the chairs, I had just had butterflies in my stomach. I'm like thinking about it, please, 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 please. And then he came through. Daddy Dana came through for me.
That's awesome. And Dana said that you told him you'll be here for the next 2 weeks. So if there's a fight that comes up, so I wonder how much of that is, hey, let's just be big and bold and make some statements, or how much of you is really like, I hope I can debut on Saturday.
No, 100%. I mean, my weight's good. This will heal up super fast. Literally after spot, my face marks up of my whole body marks up so easy. Literally a gust of wind and I get a bruise. It's ridiculous. All my fights, you look at my face after, I look trashed. But but no, 100%. I want to fight right away. I'm ready. I'm good. I know, obviously, I always have things to work on, and I want to be better going into every fight. I want to be better than my last fight. But why not? We're here for a reason. Let's fight. I'm older. I want to get as many fights as I can in and reach the pinnacle of this sport.
And last thing for me, I guess you kind of touched on it there, but what can we expect out of you in your UFC run? I mean, is this going to be the hallmark that you're basically trying to fight as frequently as possible and just in any matchup you can take?
Yeah, I mean, within the weight class, I'm not going to move up to 35, 45, anything like that, but maybe 115, we'll see. But yeah, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So I want to bang out some fights. I like fighting. Obviously, I like fighting,
Is it true you said to Dana that these will heal up and you can get right back in there?
Yeah, for sure. Like after sparring, this is what I look like. You look at the pictures on like the girls from Syndicate on their Instagram stories or anything like that. I'm always marked up like this.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello, congratulations. I guess first off, just tell us what the feel is right now, right? A great fight, and obviously, got the goal accomplished. So what's the emotion like for you?
Yeah, I'm very happy. We came here to get the win, number one, and then the contract, of course, is just the cherry on top. So very happy and proud.
Nice. Heck of a fight as well, right? I think closer than probably the scores would indicate in terms of how competitive it was, right? How did you feel overall about the performance?
I was happy with the performance. I think I was expecting to maybe get him out of there a bit earlier, and then I started chasing like the knockout rather than being maybe a bit more balanced and looking. Yeah, but I was happy with the performance. I feel like he didn't really do much when he was on top, so I feel like if it was a fight, I feel like I won. So it's very happy.
And did you feel like it was enough to get the deal, or were you worried like, hey, if I don't get a finish, maybe it's not going to happen?
Yeah, like I was after the fight, I was sort of thinking this could it was a tough fight. It felt like I had a tough fight, so I was just waiting. And then as soon as he said 30-27, I thought surely I won at least one round.
Yeah, confident, got it done. I mean, as far as the expectations, I mean, Dana came in here and he said, he's like, I think this kid's special. I mean, when you hear something like that, I imagine it's got to be exciting, but is it also a little bit intimidating as well to think, hey, there's high expectations for me right away?
No, it's cool. The only reason I do this is I want to compete with the best in the world. So, perfect. It's just better for me in that regard.
It's awesome. Last thing for me, I guess, obviously this goal is accomplished, but now the next one is the UFC debut, right? So ideally, how does that work out? I mean, do you have a date circuit on the calendar? Are there names that you want to match up with already? What's the plan?
Well, I would probably make a better plan if I didn't have to go sit in a hotel for 2 weeks, but I have to do that, which we've signed up for, so I'm going to do it. So I think we've got so much time to sit on our hands that we'll just think about it and just wait to get home and then reassess. But yeah, I'm very excited for that first UFC fight.
Do I see a rugby ball over there?
Yeah.
Why?
Rugby, yeah.
How come?
I love rugby. I like to bring a rugby ball on trips that I go on.
Even to the fights?
This fight.
Oh, fair. Cool.
Yeah, I love rugby union. And it has Australia on it, so I was like, why not? Boom. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, Lukasz, congratulations on getting the contract. Tell me, what are the emotions like for you right now?
Oh my gosh, this was my dream since the beginning, and I'm really glad that I'm here.
Dana kind of made you sweat it out a little and wait, right? What was that feeling like for you at that moment?
It was a very stressful moment, but he explained everything, and I think that he made the right decision, and I will prove that.
Nice. Can you talk about, I guess, maybe how difficult it was to reschedule the fight? And I think you traveled home, right? And then travel back. I mean, how tough was this?
Yeah, I have many adventures during last month. So I was here in Las Vegas like 3 times. The flights from Poland takes like 24 hours to one way, right? So before I had a torn ACL, COVID adventure and everything, I thought that I have only this one chance, and I took it, and I'm really glad that I did.
Yeah, and I know you don't need to make excuses. You won, you got a contract, but I mean, did all that have an impact on how you performed tonight? I mean, I have to imagine this has been fatiguing and tiring.
Yeah, that was not that. I'm sure that wasn't 100% of me, because I had a really better cardio than this, and the flights were like really tough, because I'm here for 3 days, right? I didn't have. I came from the fight before, and I had 1 week, and I'm already here, and I took the fight, so the time I spend is not too good. So
it's not your responsibility to stop a fight, but did you have any comment on the stoppage? Did you find it weird? What do you think about it?
I don't know if he taps. I don't care, because he wasn't getting out of that choke. That was a matter of time. So
fair enough. And last thing for me, now that it's done, you will get to fight in the UFC. Ideally, is there a time, a date that you want to make your UFC debut? Do you need some time away now to rest a little bit? I mean, what's the plan for you now?
Yeah, I want to get healthy and I want to fight as soon as possible.
You're a monster. I love it. Good. Good, good.
Congratulations on your victory tonight. Just curious what the emotion is like right now, knowing that you have a UFC contract.
Поздравляю вас с победой. Что вы чувствуете себя? Какие эмоции испытываете в связи с тем, что у вас теперь есть контракт с UFC?
Спасибо. Чувствую себя прекрасно. Я не получил никакого урона. Чувствую себя прекрасно. Я готов продолжать в том же духе. Просто дайте возможность, и все сами увидите.
Thank you very much. I don't feel any pain or there was no damage done to me. And just give me a chance and you'll see more of me and more of fights just like this one.
Very nice. It was a dominant victory tonight. So did things go exactly according to plan, or were you even maybe a little surprised that you were able to get the finish so quickly?
Все шло, как вы планировали, или же это даже для вас было сюрпризом, как прошел и как закончился бой?
Меня менеджер спрашивал, как я планирую свой бой. Я ему сказал, что, это было месяц назад, я ему сказал, что я его финиширую в первом раунде либо добиванием, либо удушающим приемом. Так как бы для меня никаких ничего нового, как бы сюрпризов не было. Как бы все получилось так, как мы хотели.
It actually all happened as I planned. My manager months ago, he asked me how am I planning to fight. And I told him back then that I will finish it in first round, either by submission or by dominating him.
Nice. And I guess afterwards, was there any concern at all that maybe I might not get a deal, maybe I'm nervous, or did you know that's enough to get me in the UFC?
А вы нервничали после боя, что, может быть, не получите контракта, может быть, этого недостаточно, чтобы попасть в UFC? Были такие мысли?
На самом деле я не нервничал, и мне сказали, что и я как бы слушал интервью Дана Уайта, нельзя просто победить, чтобы получить контракт, надо доминировать. Я хотел и доминировать, и финишировать. Как бы я ждал своего шанса, я 99% был уверен, что мне дадут контракт, как бы чувствовал себя прекрасно в этом плане.
Well, I wasn't nervous because I was listening to Dana White's interview when he says that it's not enough just to win the fight. You need to be dominating throughout the entire fight, and that's what I did. So I was almost 99% sure that I would get a contract because that's what I did, and I could see that Dana White really enjoyed watching me fight.
Right. And you didn't waste any time calling out some very big names in the sport. Dana was here and said, hey, if you want those kind of fights, he'll give you those kind of fights. So do you feel like people need to look at you as an instant title contender here in the division?
Вы называли очень громкие имена тех оппонентов, с которыми вы хотели бы драться. И Дэна Уайт сказал, что если Альберт хочет таких противников, то я ему этих противников предоставлю. Вы чувствуете себя на пути к титульному бою?
То есть Дэна Уайт сказал, что если я хочу эти имена, то он даст мне их, да? Я правильно услышал?
Да.
It's very good. Я готов, я очень рад, что он так ответил на мой призыв. Я готов драться с любым. Адесанья, Уиттакер, Джаред Каннанер. Сейчас через месяц дерутся Пауло Коста и Виттори. Пусть дадут мне шанс подстраховать этот бой, и я более чем уверен, что я могу доминировать, могу финишировать этих бойцов. пускай дает шанс, и мы все увидим сами.
Hearing Danny White says that makes me very, very happy, and I know that in a month there will be a big fight between Paulo Costa and Victory, and I'm ready to fight with the winner of that fight. And like I said, I'm ready for any opponent that UFC would give me.
Thank you.
Perfeito, tá? Só tu saber, tá direitinho.
Already got a gift from the boss, and it's pretty big deal, right?
Já ganhou presente do chefe, já é alguma coisa considerável, né?
Ah, é, eu tava ali agora no vestiário aqui fora. Aí a produção chegou e falou: "Não, tem presente para você do patrão". Aí eu falei: "O que é?" Aí apareceu com essa bebida aqui para mim, agradecer a ele, né? Agora ele é meu patrão, então esse presente vai ser bem-vindo, vou deixar lá em casa guardado, né? Só vou abrir quando eu fizer minha primeira luta pelo UFC. Aí eu vou abrir, vou mandar um vídeo para ele e agradecer.
I was backstage, and production came to me and said, well, "I have a gift from the boss for you." He goes, "Oh, hey, I mean, he's my boss now, so might as well. That means a lot to me. I'm just going to keep that in Brazil, keep it in my house, and I'm only going to open it after my first UFC fight."
That's awesome. Well, the big smile, I think, probably tells it all, but can you give us the emotion right now, having that UFC contract, knowing that you will be fighting in the UFC?
O sorriso estampado na cara já conta uma história para todo mundo. Já sabe que você está feliz, mas fala pra gente qual que é a emoção de ser um lutador do UFC agora.
Rapaz, era um sonho que a gente batalhou para chegar, viu? Um sonho que a gente batalhou, eu e meus treinadores aí, e meu empresário, a gente batalhou para chegar aqui. E agora ser contratado pelo UFC. São 10 anos fazendo essa profissão. E são 10 anos de guerra, 10 anos batalhando ali, correndo atrás, entendeu? Fazendo como posso dizer, roendo o osso, né? Então a gente estava roendo o osso para chegar até aqui e ganhar esse contrato.
Man, it's a culmination of 10 years. Been fighting a lot. It's been just at the end of a fight, a culmination of a fight, a lot of battles. We've been 10 years hustling, myself and my team, and the term that was used, we were getting down to the bones. The meat was off already. We were going for the bones already. So this is very happy to be here.
That's awesome. And it was a battle tonight, too, a very, very tough opponent. So I'm just curious, how you felt about your performance tonight and how the fight played out versus the way you saw it.
Uma batalha também hoje contra um oponente difícil, e ele gostaria de saber um pouco mais como é que você se sentiu em relação à luta e como é que se desenrolou a luta para você.
Foi uma luta muito dura, todo mundo viu, né? E então, Nasruddin é um cara muito duro, né? Então a gente treinou muito mesmo, para poder, porque a gente falou, rapaz, é russo, e você sabe que russo é força o tempo todo. Então a gente treinou muita força nos treinos para poder chegar aqui e fazer uma performance dessa perfeita.
A lot of training. We actually train a lot, not because it's a fight, but he's Russian. They said he's Russian. He's gonna use power, strength, and pressure all the time, and he can't let up. And again, it worked out, and it was just the effort of having trained for him and to face what we saw.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, how do you see your UFC career going? I mean, you mentioned you have 10 years in the game and a great record. I mean, do you feel like you should be an instant kind of contender in the division, or do you feel like you start at the bottom and now there's time to develop in the division?
Como é que você vê a tua carreira no UFC? Você falou que é uma combinação de 10 anos de trabalho. Você já se vê sendo um candidato a alguma coisa já de cara, ou você vai trabalhar do começo lá para cima para tentar conquistar o teu espaço? Como é que você se vê agora começando daqui para frente no UFC?
Eu me vejo um atleta que quer chegar chegando. Eu quero chegar chegando, já quero mostrar serviço, quero fazer logo uma luta, ou pode ser ranqueado ou não ranqueado, eu quero chegar chegando e quero chegar nas cabeças. Entendeu? Eu quero chegar lá em cima, no topo, onde todo mundo quer chegar. Né? Quem sabe buscar o cinturão do UFC, que é um sonho de todo mundo. Eu realizei meu sonho de assinar o contrato agora com o Contender Series e ganhar o contrato com o UFC, e quem sabe eu ganhar o cinturão do UFC. Pode ser um sonho também, né? E pode ser realizado.
I want to come out guns blazing. I want to come out, whether it's a ranked fighter or non-ranked, but I want to make sure I come out guns blazing so people notice me. This was a dream come true, as I've said before, but why not going for a belt? Because if this was a combination of a dream, why can't being a champion be a dream as well? So I can dream about that too, right?
Jailton, vamos fazer em português aqui.
Vamos sim.
Maravilha. Jailton, quando terminou a luta, você estava confiante, você tinha aquela certeza interior de que você ia assinar? Porque não é só a vitória, você tem que convencer o Dana White. Né?
Jailton, so when the fight was over, were you certain, were you confident that you were going to get the contract? I mean, it's not just about winning, it's about making an impression. So were you confident about that?
Foi o que meus treinadores falaram comigo. Malhadinho, a gente está vindo aqui, né? Então você tem que tirar o peso de suas costas, não pensando no contrato, pensando em fazer a luta. Então, você faz uma luta perfeita, o contrato vai chegar. Entendeu? Então a gente chegou, né? Fez esse show aí para todo mundo ver. Chegou chegando e graças a Deus que a gente acabou pressionando o Dana White, né? Com uma boa performance e conseguiu esse contrato belíssimo aí.
As what my coaches said, if you fight the perfect fight, take the weight off your shoulders of coming here to impress someone and getting a contract. If we fight the way we can fight and fight a perfect fight, the contract will come. And granted, this is what we did. Again, we came out guns blazing. We came doing what we wanted to do, and here you are. We put on a show for you guys. Hopefully that's what you think. We put on a show, and the contract came naturally.
Eu não sei se apareceu na televisão, mas quando você estava saindo do cage, você dançou, fez um break dance ali. De onde veio essa habilidade na dança? E se a gente pode esperar mais disso agora na sua caminhada no UFC?
Not sure if that made it to television, so that you know it went all over social media, right? But after the fight, you came out of the cage dancing. So we want to know where that dancing ability comes from, and if we can expect more shows like that in the future.
Aquela dança ali, a gente, na verdade, nossos treinos lá em Salvador, no Galpão da Luta, a gente treina ouvindo pagode, né? O pagode da Bahia. Então, eu falei, como aqui, Estados Unidos, né, tem muito Blake, muito essa dança assim de Blake, essas coisas. Eu falei, não, eu vou inovar, vou meter um Blake lá para todo mundo gostar de mim e chegar chegando.
This is at where we fight at Galpão da Luta. We always dance. It's always playing. Actually, we fight to Brazilian pagode from Salvador. So I said, well, in America they got rhythm too. They dance too. They got beats too. So I'm going to come out doing the same thing. So why not come out guns blazing?
The last one for me. Eu sei que a Bahia tem um bom jiu-jitsu lá. Um grande jiu-jitsu. Mas a Bahia é muito famosa, o estado baiano é muito famoso no Brasil pelo boxe, né? O Popó, Cigano, o Kelson, enfim, muitos nomes. Qual é, depois de dizer isso, assim, eu te pergunto, qual é a sua marca aqui que os fãs podem esperar a partir da sua primeira luta? Qual é a assinatura que você quer deixar no octógono? Trazer o boxe baiano, mostrar mais ainda do seu jiu-jitsu e do seu wrestling que você mostrou hoje?
We know there's jiu-jitsu in Bahia, and you showed it tonight, but Bahia is known in Brazil for its boxing. Many of our most famous and most decorated boxers were from Bahia. Not to mention a lot of names there, but what would be your legacy as a fighter? Is that what could we expect in the future? Should we expect to see a lot of the trademark of Bahia, which is a strong boxing, or should we see more da jiu-jitsu? I mean, what do you want to be known for going forward?
Como minha terra hoje é a terra do boxe, né? E hoje eu mostrei um jogo diferente que poucos brasileiros fazem. Então, eu tenho que fazer o jogo adequado para a luta, entendeu? Se for para trocar porrada, a gente troca porrada. Se for para colocar para baixo, a gente coloca para baixo muito bem. Então, a gente tem um pouco de tudo. A gente trabalha com estratégia no treino. Se a gente pegar um cara do grappling, a gente sabe que o cara não é do grappling, mas uma hora cansa, entendeu? Então, a gente acaba usando a parte do boxe. Mas se pegar um cara da trocação, a gente vai inverter o jogo, entendeu? Então, a gente faz tudo estratégia. O treino nosso lá é tudo estratégico, entendeu? A gente não bota assim, eu sou do boxe, você é do grappling, não. É tudo tudo nas medidas, a gente estrategizando tudo.
I know I'm from the land of boxing, but we deal a lot with strategy back at the gym. As you saw today, we were able to grapple and take it down, but if we need to take a guy down, we're going to do it. Like, he was known for this. But the one thing that we know is if you take people down, if you stay down on the ground, it wears people off, and then people get tired from that. So we use all the boxing training and stamina to use that to our advantage, because at the end of the day, we're going to come out on top. So if grappling is needed, we'll do that. But obviously, if striking is needed, we're ready for it. But we deal with a lot of strategy, believe me. What we do, the work that we do at our gym, everything is planned for the next fight. Tudo certo, homem.
The podium. That needs to happen, right? Vou te dando algumas aqui que é pra sair minha sombra. Pega lá. Só um pouquinho. Aí sim. Levantando grandão. Levanta.